Because I truly believe that when a person murders somebody else, takes another life, if that person who took the other life truly understood what they did, if they truly understood what they did, that is a life sentence in and of itself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like people like you and I, for example, if you took somebody's life, either accidentally or not, because even man shit, if that were to happen, like I don't even want to put that out into the universe, but if that ever happened, even by accident, I don't know how I could live with myself. Like I don't know how I could live with myself. Oh my God, that would haunt me every single day. Every single day. And I have full body chills as I say that. That is the life sentence. That is the life sentence. They should be in a facility and they need rehabilitation. I feel like you go to the rehabilitation until you're actually able to leave. And that would mean truly understanding what you did. To get to that place, like I said, might take that person's entire life. I don't think people should be put to death. That is not for us to say. That is not for us to say. And I do believe in karma strongly as well. Also, like murderers and stuff like that, like they're gonna have to face their karma. Absolutely. God will make sure that they face their karma, whether that be in this lifetime or another lifetime. They will have their karma. It is not for us humans to choose when a person lives or dies. That is not for us to choose. Hey, kitty cats. Welcome back. I'm going to start saying that kitty cats thing again. If you're watching my vlogs, I tried to start this thing because I was like, I want to find a name for you guys, you know, like a cute little name. There was this YouTuber that I used to watch years ago, Nikki Blackheader, and she would always say, "Hi, sunshines," and I thought that that was the cutest thing. So obviously, I can't copy that. I needed to find something for myself, and obviously, I have kitty cats, and I feel like I am a cat, like my soul is a cat. And cats are amazing and incredible, as are you guys. So I'm gonna try and remember to do this now. I'm gonna welcome you guys. Like you're the kitty cats. We're all little kitty cats. Anyways, I'm rambling on. Oh my God, my left eye has been twitching, you guys. It just started twitching again. It has been twitching for the last like couple of weeks on and off. I'm like, what is going on? I know that there's a lot of energy shifts and it probably has to do with that. But let's get started with today's video, or welcome. If you've never clicked on my channel before, welcome to the fam. Hit that subscribe button. I'm a little all over the place today, you guys. My mind is like going everywhere. But the point of the video, if I look down, I'm looking at my little notes. I really wanted to make a video because I sat down the other night and me and my friend were watching a movie and we were trying to decide what we wanted to see. Sorry, there's people walking by and they're just like staring at me. I felt so awkward. I'm filming outside today because it is hot in my house, you guys. It is hot in my house. I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to film outside, but I kind of live on like a busy road. And I'm like, it's kind of like I have my trees surrounding me, so you can't really see me. We'll see how it goes. It's nice to switch things up. It's nice to come outside. That made me feel a little awkward, but you know what? Whatever. Back to what I was saying. Me and my friend were going to watch a movie the other night. She came to visit me. Sorry, and if it's a little loud, you guys, it's because I'm outside. We'll see how good this microphone is. We'll be putting it to the test. But she came over. She spent a week with me, Michaela, and we had an incredible time. And we were finding something to watch like one evening. And there was this, crime stuff we didn't watch it, but the display was like a recommended to watch. And I used to love crime documentaries. Like I don't know. I had such a fascination with it. I was super into, I'd listen to the crime podcasts. I watched a lot of like YouTubers that talked about crime. I still do from time to time, honestly. And when I was younger, like when I used to consume more of these, I was always just so curious and so fascinated. Like what makes people do these terrible things? Like what makes people do what they do? I just didn't understand. And I don't want to say I wanted to understand because obviously like I don't want to know what's going on in a person's mind like that. But I was so genuinely curious, like what makes a person do that? I never got it. I never understood it. And through my healing journey, I feel like I don't want to say like I understand, but I want to talk about my thoughts and why I think people end up this way. Please keep in mind that this is, oh my God, you guys, my feather. Wait, I'm like, what is my arm hitting? I was out for a walk. Wait, I'm going to show you guys my notes down. Hold on. I walked past a feather and I just like put it in my pocket and I forgot that it was in my pocket. Anyways, we're going to take the feather out. You guys, I'm literally, I'm that woman that sees feathers and puts them in her pocket. Anyways, I wanted to give my thoughts on why I think people do terrible things. Yeah, and please keep in mind that this is my opinion. This is what I believe to be true. So you can agree, you can disagree. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Disclaimer, everything that I say here, this is not me making an excuse at all for, these people, people that do these awful crimes. I want to make that clear from the get-go, okay? Like this is not me saying like it's okay. I want to make that very, very clear. I think that the world we live in a very dark world. It's really dense right now, and there's a lot of wounded people here on Earth. And I think essentially that's why we see so much horror in the world. I mean, I've talked about this in one of my other videos. Like, I think that as a collective, a lot of us are disconnected from our humanity. So we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, regardless of gender. And the feminine energy within each and every one of us has been suppressed because of the patriarchy. And this is something that needs to shift, is shifting, and the feminine energy within all of us is starting to awaken. But I believe that the part of us connected to humanity is within our feminine energy. It's the feminine part of us that's connected to our intuition, connected to compassion, connected to our humanity. And I think that so many of us are so disconnected from our feminine energy. Therefore, we are disconnected from our humanity, which is why we see all of this awfulness in the world, for lack of a better word, inhumane things. And talking specifically about like serial killers, murderers, people who do things like that, I think that they are deeply, 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 deeply wounded, regardless of what their probably because of their childhood. There's a reason why majority of people who have done such awful things, if you listen to their childhood, they've had awful, awful childhoods, awful experiences. And, I understand that there are other people who have had awful childhood experiences and they don't become killers and murderers. Obviously I'm aware of that. It doesn't mean just because you have a terrible childhood, you're going to become a murderer. And, some of these killers haven't had an awful childhood, quote unquote. What I believe is you never know what's going on behind the door. You know what I'm saying? With me and my life, for example, just using me as an example, we had the picture perfect family. Everything was picture perfect on the outside, but there is a lot that I had to deal with in my childhood as well, even though on the outside looking in, maybe you wouldn't guess or see it. Disclaimer, this is not me saying my parents are bad people. I want to make that very clear. They did the best they could with the tools they had. Anyways, my point with all of this, I feel like regardless of what your childhood looked like on the outside, a lot of these murderers, serial killers, etc., I believe that they have deep, deep, deep trauma. I believe that they're deeply wounded. And I made a video about demons a couple years ago. If you're interested, you could watch that. I made that a couple years ago. So I'm like, what did I say in that video? But I basically just, talked about a personal example and what I believe demons are. So just really quickly, through my journey, what I've come to learn is every single one of us has inner demons, essentially. We live in a world where a lot of us are a lot more wounded than we realize. We haven't been taught how to love ourselves. And the ego is there to protect us. And the ego is actually so, 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 so powerful and so, so, so tricky. The ego will do anything in its power to protect you. And what I've discovered on my journey is sometimes the ego can almost it's like how it was described to me through, meditation. The ego can create a consciousness like within you. And that's the demon right there. And it was created to protect you, a wounded part of you. And with time, if that wounded part of you is not given love, that energy or whatever it is that you want to call it that you created within you can take on a life of its own. And because it was created within you, it's hard to really tell, that we have this inner demon, if that's what you want to label it, and it can take over your brain, which is why, when people drink alcohol, the demons come out, right? It's like you see the other side of people sometimes, obviously not everybody. And this is why people do things, whether it's like as severe as murder or just, punching a hole in a wall. It's like it's something within you that is not true to who you actually are, but was created within you to protect you. And this thing will take on a life of its own and get bigger and bigger and bigger, essentially, to continue protecting you until you give that wounded part of you love. Essentially, how to let go of demons is love, but first you have to become aware of them. And a lot of people are unaware of these inner demons because they're created from within you, and essentially they are created to protect you. But this is where it gets a little scary, is like these inner demons, without healing, essentially without learning how to love yourself, without becoming aware of your wounds and your past traumas, these inner demons can take over and get uglier and uglier and uglier, because essentially it's also like feeding a part of you too. It's like these demons, it's like it'll get like a high on, doing something awful. And then it's like these perpetrators, for example, they have to do it again, right? It's because it's feeding that demon within them. And it's like they have to do it again. And then it escalates and then it escalates. I feel like I'm just rambling there, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Essentially, it's not true to who you are. We're all love at the end of the day. We're all from love. We're all from love. That's who we are. And we live in a world, though, that's so dense. A lot of us have these inner demons. And this is not me saying that, if you have an inner demon, it's going to turn into you becoming a murderer. Obviously not. The way it manifests can be different for every single person. That's why, yeah, like some people might have a terrible childhood and not become murderers. Maybe their inner demons manifested in a very, very different way. Maybe their inner demons manifested in a way that was more self-harm, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to harming other people. Or maybe on your journey, you started learning how to love yourself and you did the work to kind of love away those inner demons, if that makes sense. And this is why I believe too, like, victims and stuff, they say, oh, like victims who survive like these certain attacks or whatever, it's like they often say it's like their eyes, there was something glazed over them. It's like they were not human. Yeah, because the inner demon took over. But the person who has this inner demon within them, they have no idea that it's an inner demon because it was created from within them. So they believe that it's a part of them often, if that makes sense. And this is not me trying to instill fear or anything like that. We're all wounded, right? We all probably have these inner demons. And this is why healing is so, 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 so important, so that we can become aware of these parts of ourselves and we can learn how to love those parts of ourselves and heal those parts of ourselves. What happened to you as a childhood or through life is not your fault. And yeah, is not your fault. And I feel I have so much sympathy and empathy for everybody who has gone through whatever they didn't deserve to go through. And, my old self included. And and it is still your responsibility to heal those parts of you and love those parts of you as you grow, so that you do not perpetuate that harm onto others, because that's why they say hurt people, right? Often it's subconscious and people aren't realizing that they're perpetuating more harm. Anyways, I could go on and on and on about that. Essentially, it is your responsibility to heal and to learn how to love yourself. Unfortunately, the people that were supposed to protect you when you were little, you can't expect them to come in and save you. It is now your job to save yourself. And that might sound a little harsh, but it's just the truth, right? And that's why some people become murderers and some people don't, even if they had very similar upbringings. And like I said, these inner demons manifest in different ways. It doesn't mean it's going to manifest into you becoming a murderer. Like there's so many different ways. Like self-sabotage is something that's coming to mind. Like these things manifest in so many different ways, depending on the wound, depending on the person. X, Y, and Z, but I feel like we live in a society where we are so disconnected from ourselves. We are so disconnected from ourselves. We're so disconnected to the truth of who we are. And that's a story for another day. But just looking down at my notes here, another thing that I wanted to talk about is, these murderers and people who do really terrible crimes. And again, this is not me saying what they're doing is okay. With that said, I believe that there's something deeply disturbing and wrong about our prison systems. I feel like prisons are inhumane, and treating the victims the way most of them are treated in prisons. And I know a lot of you might disagree with me, but I strongly believe that treating these people the way they're treated is only going to make the problem worse. It's only going to make the problem worse. It's not, for the most part, maybe not for every single one, but for the majority of them, that inner demon is only going to get bigger as a result of how they're being treated, because it needs to protect the person again. So it's going to do what it needs to do to maybe get through prison, for example. Maybe the inner demon is going to learn how to camouflage and learn how to, give back what they're looking for so that they could just get through their sentence and then be let free. But the real problem wasn't solved. The inner demon within them is still very much alive. It still has not yet been given the love, or it hasn't been taught how to be given the love that it needs to go away, to make real change. Because I truly believe that when a person murders somebody else, takes another life, if that person who took the other life truly believed or truly understood what they did, if they truly understood what they did, that is a life sentence in and of itself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people like you and I, for example, if you took somebody's life, either accidentally or not, because even, man, shit, if that were to happen, like, I don't even want to put that out into the universe, but if that ever happened, even by accident, I don't know how I could live with myself. Like, I don't know how I could live with myself. Oh my God, that would haunt me every single day, every single fucking day. And I have full body chills as I say that. That is the life sentence. That is the life sentence. And this is not me saying they shouldn't be locked up or anything like that. I hate even using the word locked up, because it sounds very, again, inhumane. It's like putting people in a cage. I believe that they need rehabilitation. And I know that there's some places that maybe do this. And I'm not saying I know the exact method or how it's going to work, but I believe that these people should be in a facility. I don't think they should be walking the streets. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't think people should be put to death. That is not for us to say. That is not for us to say. And I do believe in karma strongly as well. Also, like murderers and stuff like that, like, they're going to have to face their karma. Absolutely. God will make sure that they face their karma, whether that be in this lifetime or another lifetime. They will have their karma. It is not for us humans to choose when a person lives or dies. That is not for us to choose. Now, again, this is not me saying that these people should be out on the streets. Absolutely not. They should be in a facility, and they need rehabilitation. They need to learn how to love themselves. They need to see how broken they are. They need to learn how broken they are and why they did what they did. And hey, maybe that means they're in that rehabilitation facility for the rest of their life, because maybe they never come to that understanding. And if that's the case, that's the case. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think it should be like, oh, you're, locked away for this long, and then this is when you become free. Or if you get a life sentence or whatever it is. Like, I feel like you go to the rehabilitation until you're actually able to leave. And that would mean truly understanding what you did. To get to that place, like I said, might take that person's entire life. And maybe for other people, it's not. How do we get these people to go to that place? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know all of the answers. I feel like we would need a lot of certain structures and whatnot in place. And I don't even know where to start with that. I don't even know. I feel like there's a lot of different methods, getting doctors, therapists, somatic healing. I even want to say plant medicine, getting shamans in there, like genuinely. And like I said, I don't know. This is just me throwing things out. I don't know. I don't know how that would happen. Hey guys, editing Brittany here really quick. One thing that I wanted to add is I understand too that the rehabilitation process will look different for everyone because everyone's different and they're going to need different things. It needs to be so individualized. It needs to be so individualized, and that's a little overwhelming to think of because there's so many people in this world that would need that form of rehabilitation. So again, I don't know the answer, but essentially I feel like eventually the world is going to shift, the world is going to change, more people are healing, and as a result of more people healing, we're going to give birth to kids who are more healed as well. And I feel like those types of criminals eventually are going to become less and less and less and less, and hopefully eventually we have a system in place that can handle the load of people, because ideally there will be a lot less people that need that sort of rehabilitation. Does that make sense? And again, like, this is why this is a team effort. The world is shifting, the world is changing, the world needs your voice, the world needs your perspective. We're in this together, and it's going to take time, but we're doing it not only for us, but for the future generation. So I just wanted to say that as well really quickly because I think it's important. Okay, back to the video. This is something that would obviously take time, so I want to make that clear, very clear. I realize a lot needs to change in order for any of that to even happen, but what I do strongly believe is, like, the way it is today is not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping the people in the prisons. It's not helping people outside of the prisons either, because it's not actually changing the problem. It's not fixing anything. If anything, majority of the time, it is making it worse. It is making it worse as these people are in prison. Their ego continues to grow. The demons within them continue to grow, or more demons are created. And then what? They're locked up for however long and then set free again with now their demons only being bigger or more of them. Do you know what I'm saying? And the only way for true safety for the community, and the only way for that person to, like, truly live their life again, is for that person to truly change, to truly see their darkness within and understand where it comes from, to heal. That's the only way. And yeah, as I said before, that might take the person's whole life. And if that's the case, that's the case. And maybe they come down in another life to complete that through whatever. You know, I believe in karma. I believe we reincarnate many times. I believe that we have reincarnated many times. You should check out my past lives video. Also, if you're interested, I have a video talking about past lives, my personal past lives that I'm, like, remembering, like, straight up remembering, you guys. It's crazy. I'm not, like, looking for it, but I've been remembering past lives specifically, and how people from my past lives are in my life this time around. It's wild. It's crazy. And how I'm healing things from past lives that have actually been carried into this life. That's a whole other thing, you know, because I also got the message that more and more people on this path are going to start remembering their past lives. So if you're interested in that, check out my past life video. Okay, check that out. That's on, I think, the Going Beyond with Brittany playlist. I have, like, a few different playlists with, like, I have, like, different content on, like, anyways, I think it's going to be on this same playlist that this video's on. But going back to what I was saying, back to the prisons and stuff, like, I even wrote down here, people need love to heal. They need understanding and compassion. That is the medicine. It might not happen in their lifetime. Yeah, it might not happen in their lifetime, but, like, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. It's kind of like, I believe in karma. God is the judge and the only judge, and God doesn't even judge us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that it's not for us. Like, we're here to live our lives. We're here to live our lives. We're not here to decide whether another person's life is taken away or not. And I know that that's easy for me to say, maybe because I haven't had, you know, somebody that I know close to me whose life has been taken, and I want to make that very, very clear. I have not experienced that in this lifetime. With that said, because of my views and my belief, I believe that regardless of what another human has done, it is not up to us to choose whether they live or die, because they're going to get their karma. They will. They absolutely will. It doesn't necessarily mean it will be in this lifetime, though. And don't get me wrong, if somebody's attacking you, that's different. Self-defense, like, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I think you get what I'm
Mm.
saying. Hopefully, that's never the case for anybody. Oh, follow the sun. Yeah, and I wrote down here death penalty is also ego at play. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's like condemning. It's like you get to die. Like, who are you to choose who lives and who dies? I just think that that's ego. It's so ego. And karma, the scales have to balance eventually. Like, they're going to get their karma, whether you see that or not. Again, and I'm not saying that these people should be walking the streets. I want to make that very, very clear. They should be in a facility, absolutely, but it should be a rehabilitation facility so that they can actually change as a person. Because when they do, and when they truly understand their crimes and what, regardless of what that crime is, that's something that they then have to carry for the rest of their lives. And that is penance enough. That is penance enough, in my opinion. But they need to be rehabilitated to get to that place. So, yeah, that's kind of, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, and I wrote down here too, like some come to bring polarity. So I have gotten this message before too, where some people, and this is very few though, this is very, very few people, few souls come to Earth kind of like to choose to play the villain, to choose to play the villain, to bring that polarity here to Earth, if that makes sense. So, the question, are people born evil or do they become evil? I think majority of people become evil because we are all love at the end of the day. But I do think that some people were born specifically to bring darkness here so that here on earth we can experience that kind of polarity. And you might think, why would God ever do that? And really, it's realizing that like good and evil are two sides to the same coin, essentially. It's like the light and the dark. It's all one force, it's all one energy, and we get to choose whether to, we get to choose. It's for us to choose, and we need that polarity in order to make the choice, if that makes sense. And I feel like for us humans to understand certain things and to learn the lessons our soul came here to learn, we do need to experience that polarity in whatever way that might look. So I have received this, and this feels very true for me. So again, trust yourself, trust your intuition. But what I believe to be true is there are some souls, and it is few, but some souls were literally born to play the villain in the story, essentially, to bring the polarity here for the other souls to learn whatever it is they're meant to learn. And I also have learned through my journey that, like, yeah, I think I talk about this in my past life video. I don't remember, but like essentially what I've learned, and take this how you will, like there's like a certain number of levels of learning that we came here to learn, and it's like level 1, maybe you need 3 lifetimes to learn all of the levels in level 1 or all of the lessons in level 1, and then level 2, maybe you need 8 lifetimes to learn all of the lessons in level 2. I don't know, whatever. And it's kind of like as many lifetimes as you need to learn all of the lessons, and like some of our lifetimes we're here to learn heavier lessons. And that's why it's so important to be so kind, because you don't know what a person has gone through, because there's some lifetimes that are really hard for some people, absolutely harder than what you've experienced maybe in this lifetime. But it's also knowing that we're all meant to experience all of it, and there's other lifetimes where you are meant to experience more joy and things that aren't as hard in this lifetime, and we can't learn all of the lessons or experience all of the things in one lifetime. So it's just important to be kind, because everyone is on their soul's journey. Everyone is where they're supposed to be. And it's just so important to be kind, because you just don't know what a person has gone through. And I'm telling you right now, there's some lifetimes that are really hard with a lot of hard and heavy lessons. I'll just kind of leave that there. But let me see if there's anything else I wanted to say on that. I think that's basically everything. I think that the prison systems need to change. I think they are going to change. It's a part of this change that's happening here on Earth. It's going to take time. But I believe that like the old system needs to crumble again. Like even the prison system, it's a very like masculine lens, the way it's all run. It was built through the lens of the patriarchy, and we need to bring in the feminine lens. We need to bring in that compassion. We need to bring in that understanding. We need to bring that in so that rehabilitation actually can happen, so that these people actually can heal and actually make something of their lives, potentially. You know what I'm saying? And hey, for others, maybe they never learn, and maybe that just means they remain in the facility until they die. And if that's the case, that's the case. Obviously, depending on what the crime is, and because obviously it varies. I started this out talking about murderers and serial killers, which is obviously like very extreme, but this is like everything in between. You know what I mean? I don't think it's our job as humans to say who lives and who dies. That is up to God. That is up to the universe. Karma and dharma is real. And best believe it's real, and you will get what you deserve, whether that be in this lifetime or another. Period. Okay. So I'm going to leave the message there. I think I kind of said what I wanted to say. I feel like that was a little bit all over the place. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. And if you made it to the end, hit that subscribe button, join the kitty cat fam. I would love to have you. I recently actually, if you guys are interested, recorded a guided channeled meditation. It's not scripted. I have like other meditations that I've created where I've like written them out and then read them and recorded them. But this one, I set up my mic literally here on like a bunch of books and I like got into a meditative space, and I just let what wanted to come through come through. It starts out with guiding you into a meditation, and then there's like affirmations and messages that come through. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in the description. You could check out it's my Stan store link to the guided meditation. It's $3.33 if you're interested. I'm thinking of, maybe doing a little bit more creations like that. It made me excited. So it's just my first one. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. I'm also a Flow Dose ambassador if you guys are interested, or I'm an affiliate for Flow Dose, which is a mush microdosing company. I use their products and I'm excited to share them with you guys because this company genuinely is in integrity. So if you use my link, it helps support me and it gives you a free starter pack with your first purchase. I got cut out there. I'm also an ambassador for Shilajit, so that gives you 10% off your order. Link is also in the description. Follow me on Instagram. I got a lot more stuff over on there. I'm also on TikTok. Check me out over there. I have a lot of readings on the TikTok. Instagram, you get more of like the personal behind the scenes and like my daily thoughts. And yeah, you get a lot of insight in that. So definitely check me out over there. I've been loving Instagram lately, if I'm being honest. I love expressing myself through there. So I would love to have you join me on the fam over there. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I do have a tip jar in the description below. Never expected, but always appreciated. It helps me continue to create these videos that I love to create. And another way to support me is just to like the video, share the video, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, I'm going to leave the message there. Thank you so much for chatting with me today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.